Hello everyone, welcome back to the From Darkness to Light series, when we talk about people who have big challenges, small challenges. Well, every challenge is really a challenge. It just depends on where you are in life. So I'm pleased to welcome Motti Rotenberg to the show. Thank you for joining us. Newly married, in fact, that's part of the story. So do you want to take us all the way back? So you're engaged to Leonie when, and then what happened in terms of COVID planning and wedding and rearranging, and how that, we used to talk about arranged marriages, you know what I mean? Now it's in the COVID era, it's like rearranged marriages, you know what I mean? Let's just do the timeline of the story, and then we'll talk about the feelings and the coping mechanisms. So go for it.
Perfect. So we got engaged the night before my 21st birthday, 15th of February, so mid-Feb. And then the day after, we had a nice big l'chaim, like usual, where everyone kind of popped in and stuff. And we were always planning to have a more formal engagement party towards the beginning of April, kind of just post-Pesach kind of time. And obviously COVID started getting worse during March. Things started closing. I got sent home from work mid-March, and as we were getting to Pesach, obviously a lot of people had Seder night on their own and stuff. And so unfortunately we had to cancel the formal engagement party. That was the first thing. Originally we downscaled it to invite way less people, and then we downscaled it one more time, so there were even more less people, and then we just cancelled it, and because that was the way the world was heading. So it was a bit upsetting, but at least we managed to get a l'chaim in. But then our thoughts and kind of shifted towards the wedding. We had it all booked and planned in a nice big hall.
What date was it supposed to be?
It was going to be originally on the 1st of November.
Wow. Can I just some husband tips? Don't let your wife get away with saying you've got like 4 anniversaries. Doesn't, I tell you, my wife doesn't know her Hebrew birthday. It's like it's a doubt between one day and the other, depending on when she was born. So don't she tries to get away with having like 2 Hebrew birthdays, 1 English birthday. Just nip it in the bud already. Anyway, go on. So you're supposed to get married 1st of November.
No, we were supposed to get married 1st of November. We had it all booked, the hall, the music, the caterer. We had everything ready, kind of ready to go. And we were like looking forward, and we were worrying about like the size of the hall, and like, is this hall going to be big enough for this many people and this many people? And in hindsight, all these discussions were just completely irrelevant and nonsense. But at the time, we didn't know that, obviously, because we got engaged before the Corona time. Right. We were expecting what the normal was before Corona times, which was a nice big wedding, and everyone comes along, and family friends of family friends of family friends, even then, and friends of friends, and everyone and everything is kind of there. So as Corona kind of got worse and worse during the first wave, Leonie and I were stressing a bit, and we were like, what's gonna be? But so things got worse and worse. Then came the summer, and everything seemed to kind of get better in the summer. So Leonie and I looked at each other, we're like, let's do it in the summer, like now, because everything seems to be okay. We weren't the only ones that had a say in the decision, and we were kind of overruled. So that never materialized in the summer. And then after that, I mean, things started getting worse again. And 1st of November, we were thinking, oh, we could be in a lockdown, whatever. I mean, the rule was 30 people, 15 people, whatever it was at the time. We were like, we could be in a lockdown. So we decided 9 days. We decided not just after Yom Kippur, I think. No,
it was before.
Yeah, before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Yeah, I don't even remember. Between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, 9 days before Sukkot, that we were going to get married on Erev Sukkot, the night before Sukkot, and we arranged a wedding in 9 days, and it was absolutely awesome in the end. So yeah, that's just the story. It was a bit of a moving target, but we got there in the end.
Gosh, I guess the first rule of marriage, get ready to things change the whole time. Okay, so you're talking about, so it's rearranged basically twice, more or less. Wow. Okay. So how do you cope? What was going through your head? How do you cope? Yeah. If you were advising others, what would you say?
So the first thing I would say is regarding Corona in general, is a situation out of your control is usually not worth stressing about. That's kind of my rule. I wish I was amazing at keeping to it, but what this definitely taught me, this really kind of honed in on it, and it's if it's not in your control, it's kind of not worth stressing about. And this was a situation where it was just going to be whatever's at the time, and whatever the situation is at the time in the country, and whatever's happening, whatever the restrictions are, then sitting and worrying about it is not, unfortunately, going to change any amount of cases, any amount of restrictions. So it's kind of not really a point. And then another thing we really learned is what's important. Before Corona times, I think everyone used to have huge weddings, 400 people, 400 people. Every family friend of friend would be there, and you'd pack in as much people as you could. And actually,
sometimes upset if they don't get invited.
Exactly. It's wars.
Second, third cousin, Marjorie,
The big politics on where you draw the line, kind of on the extension of who's coming. But yeah, what we actually realized is, so we had it was between 15 and 30 people at the time, and it was just immediate family. So we had literally just siblings. We had parents, siblings, grandparents, and a couple of first cousins. I mean, Leonie's brother wasn't even at the wedding. Adam was in Israel doing smicha, and he wasn't able to fly back for it. So obviously in normal times, everyone's like, that's crazy and stuff. But I mean, it was just kind of a reality of the situation. He watched the day on FaceTime. But yeah, so we had quite like very basic, and we absolutely loved it. Like, everyone who mattered and who was important was there. And I think that's what we really learned, is like, sometimes it doesn't need to be a whole extravagant thing where 300-400 people come and absolutely everyone is wishing you mazel tov. And it's really actually nice when it's a more intimate affair, a smaller, closer kind of thing. It's a very special day, it's a very special moment, and it's nice to share it with special people only. And so it was actually quite nice. And in hindsight, if we would have known during the whole period what it would have been on the day, we wouldn't have worried about it once.
Amazing. So, right, it's incredible. So it sounds like just the coping mechanisms are firstly contextualizing, managing expectations, and realizing that if you can achieve things through different ways but still achieving the same thing, a wedding is, dare I say, just an intro to marriage, and celebrating that intro, and that you did. You totally did that. In fact, you probably gained life lessons from this one more than a normal wedding week. Although I dare say that there are probably some family members say, well, next year let's just throw, like, on the anniversary, a party for like 700 people,
Yeah. So on that note, there, a lot of people have been talking about parties for next year. And another thing I'd say is what we really felt, which might be worth sharing, is that if an opportunity comes, you need to take the opportunity and not just delay and delay and delay. So I know quite a few people who are just delaying in the hope that hopefully, like, people throwing out Easter 21, June 21, like August 21, at different times, that time periods, that everything's going to be fine again, and we're going to pack in like 400 people into a wedding hall. But we never really thought like that. We thought, like, the opportunities presented itself. We're engaged. We want to get married. Why delay? And if this is the situation, this is what the situation was just meant to be. And prolonging, which wouldn't be good. So I think another thing to kind of learn from it is that if the opportunity comes your way, like, at the moment, we just got to work out a way to fulfill that opportunity rather than to just delaying it.
Yeah. Look, pushing off a wedding is not an easy decision, especially when Corona creates more stress, and then you've got more, we're not married, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, you've got, please God, everyone should be healthy and well, but grandparents, great grandparents, who want to be at their great grandchildren's wedding, and if it's pushed off 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, God forbid, but there's always a risk. People aren't healthy to come to weddings, or even worse. And then also you got having kids to take into account. You've got that whole parsha, so to speak. So just amazing that you managed to, you can't say get it done, that sounds horrible, but have it happen.
It was more than that. It was more than just getting it done. It was amazing. It really was amazing.
Amazing. Look, Motti, really thank you for your time. I know, for those who don't know, I basically said to Motti about 10 minutes ago, all right, Motti, we're doing this series, come on Zoom, we're going to do it. So there was no preparation. Amazing. Really, Motti, thanks so much for your time. Go back to cooking the chicken soup.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good Shabbos.
All right. And remember people to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Stanmore Synagogue. Search it on YouTube. Subscribe now.